Hi, my name is Jelle, and today I am escaping prison. Not real prison, but the prison panic disorder built inside my head. So, for the past 4 years, my life has become smaller and smaller and smaller. Just normal activities like going to school, going to the gym, hanging around with friends just became impossible for me. It came to a point where activities like these just created a constant fear inside my head. And I felt like I was in jail. I felt like I was trapped. But nobody else could see the prison. Nobody else knew what was going on. Nobody else could see what I had to get through to actually leave the house. Only me. So, how did I end up in this situation? Well, it started around 4 years ago when I had my first panic attack. I was in school. I just started school. And I was in class, and at a certain point, I just started to feel off. I started to feel stressed. My heart rate was rising, and I just started to create all these anxious thoughts inside my head. And at a certain point, I came to the conclusion that I was dying. Well, I wasn't actually dying, but it was what I thought. It was a panic attack. So I thought I had a heart attack. And I thought, I just need to get out. I need to leave the classroom. In this classroom, I'm going to go crazy. And what if everybody else sees me having a heart attack? Well, I don't want that. So I'm just going to escape. I'm going to get out. I'm going to leave class and I'm just going to walk outside for a little bit. So that's what I did. I went outside and I still was stressed the fuck out. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know I had a panic attack. No, I thought I had a heart attack. And that's a whole different situation. So I was just outside getting some fresh air into my nose, started to get some sunlight in my eyes, and like 30 minutes after I went outside, I started to figure out like, all right, if I really have a heart attack, then I would be dead right now. And since that day, the panic attacks started to come up more and more frequent. I started to create an anxiety for these panic attacks. And the only way that I found how I can stop this anxiety, how I can stop feeling these panic attacks, how I could stop getting these panic attacks, was if I would just avoid the places where I got them. So I stopped going to school. I stopped going into trains. I eventually stopped going to the gym for a while. My life became nothing. Every single activity where I had to go outside for, I just wouldn't do it. And sometimes I wouldn't even eat because that also caused some kind of anxiety. I got just trapped in my own house, trapped in my own room, trapped in my own imaginary jail. I felt like I was in prison. It just felt like prison. Like if you think like what would prison feel like, then that was it. After some time, I got diagnosed with a panic disorder. And I thought this diagnosis would really scare me, but to be honest, it gave me peace. It gave me something that I could work on. And the fact that I could do something about it helped me. And it's not that I have escaped my prison now. It's not that I feel better right now. No, I'm still stuck. I just now have a plan. I have a path that I can take. And it isn't just a like room that I just can't escape. No, there is actually a way to escape. And that gives me peace. My therapist told me that I have to face my fears, that I need to get out there and just start doing the things that I normally feel really scared for. Because every time that I avoid doing something, that I say no to a certain appointment, every time that I don't go to school, every time that I skip the gym, my brain learns that avoiding this thing makes me feel better. But the fact is, it actually doesn't. I need to get out there. I need to go back to the gym. I need to go back in training. I need to go back to school. I need to go back in just this public world. Because every time I go out and nothing bad happens and everything just goes well, my brain learns, all right, I don't need to avoid things anymore. I can just go outside and it's safe out there. And every time that I've been avoiding all these things, my brain started to learn that outside of my home, everything was just danger and that it wasn't safe out there. I always, that's what always made me feel like I was in this fight or flight state. And now that I am starting to learn that the outside world is safe, I can finally relax. I know as I said earlier, I'm actually still in prison. I still need to start with this. Actually, this morning was my first day getting out there, doing something that I was anxious for. It isn't that I need to do all these big things right now. It doesn't mean that I have to just get out there and live a normal life. No, I have to take small steps, because otherwise I will fall again, and probably I still will fall again and get back into the prison. But just I have to take slow steps, and that's how I eventually will break my panic disorder. And this morning, as I said, I took my first step. I went for a 10-minute run, and I was scared to do this. Last year, I actually ran a marathon, but since then, I have never been running again, because every time that I said to myself, I'm going for a run, I start to get this anxiety and I start to get these anxious thoughts that were making me believe that I would get a heart attack when I would raise my heart rate. So I didn't go for a run in months. This morning I went, and it was a hard run. There really were anxious thoughts. There was panic, but I went, and it wasn't my best run, but it was a run. And it was only 10 minutes. It's nothing compared to what I used to do last year, but it is progress. It is a new step into the right direction. And doing things like this will eventually help me escape prison. I'm not out there right now. The world probably still feels like a big danger to me. But just taking these small steps into the right direction makes the world just feel a little bit safer for me. And it makes my nervous system a little bit more relaxed every single step. I don't know how long this journey will take me, but I do know that it is the right path for me. And in order for me to achieve my dream life, my big goal, the thing that I really want to achieve, that I work towards, I have to escape this prison. See you in the next video.